Well, we've had some gorgeous weather here in the eastern Sierra, but Superstorm Sandy caused just a massive amount of damage and loss of life last week on the East Coast. The Salvation Army has been there to help, and we had a chance to talk with Laura Whitehouse of the Salvation Army. She's the major gift officer, about relief efforts back east and also here in the eastern Sierra. Laura, tell us about the Salvation Army and the efforts after Superstorm Sandy.
One thing that the Salvation Army does and what we're known for is we feed people. And so over on the East Coast, that's what we're doing. We are really focusing on the hardest hit areas, New York State and New Jersey. We are the only agency that is exclusively feeding people hot meals in New York City. We are the biggest agency doing that there. In New York and New Jersey, we're providing blankets, we're doing the basics, and we're feeding people hot meals. We're also helping them connect to resources so people who have been displaced have a place to spend the night. So back there, that has been our main focus. We are known for providing emergency services. That's one of the things we do. The second thing that we do that a lot of people don't know about is we feed the first responders. So not only are we feeding those who have been displaced, but we're feeding those who take care of those who have been displaced. So that's what we're doing. We're feeding people.
Okay. How can people in the eastern Sierra help folks back east?
Well, you know, when I was talking about the emergency services, here in Bishop, we also provide emergency services. We have an emergency services canteen, and when there is an emergency, we are called by the first responders to go out and help. And not only do we take care of the first responders in hydration and feeding them, but we take care of the people who are affected. The Big Oak floods, we were out there taking care of folks. So we do here what they're doing back there. So the best way you can help is to go onto our website, www.salvationarmybishop.org, or you can call the service center here in Bishop, and that number is going to be on your screen. We'll get that to you. And the main thing you can do is you can either, on our website or when you call, you can either donate directly to the East Coast, or you can donate here and designate it for emergency services, because if there is a big emergency here in Bishop, or ironically, if there's a huge earthquake, a lot of times they'll come to smaller places like Bishop as a place to take people. And this would be one of those places that is safer than being right on the coast. So your donation can go to those back east, or it can go here in Bishop to help with emergency services in Bishop.
That's great. And I know you're raising funds for another project here in Bishop.
We are in the process, I'm sure you've noticed, we bought that little piece of land behind the pizza factory. And we have a thrift store right by Smart & Final. And then we have a family service center right there on Line Street. What we're trying to do is build a building on the piece of land that we bought for the whole community. It's going to be a community center. And not only is it going to house our thrift store, but it's also going to house our family service center. And it's going to provide food for families. You know, every Sunday we provide a church service and a hot meal. We also have a food pantry. People can walk up and get a box of food. We help people who have been displaced from their homes. We do eviction prevention. We do utility assistance. We're also, with this new center, we can do after school programs. So those kids who don't have a place to go or who might be getting into trouble, we will have a place for them to go. So we're looking for the community to come together and help build this building. And the community has so far. Our goal, it's going to cost us $1 million, 10,000 square foot building that we're putting together. And we've already raised about $280,000.
Wow.
So we're getting there. And I have been told that if I can get us up to at least $500,000, that we will qualify for some matching grants from our territorial headquarters. So I'm working on that right now. So we're looking for people to help out. Once again, they can go onto our Bishop website, or they can call us locally here in Bishop and let us know how you'd like to contribute. I'm here just about every other week right now because Lieutenant Kathy McCauley, she's a lieutenant who runs the shop here. We only have 2 employees here. Lieutenant Kathy McCauley, who is a pastor, who runs the service center, runs the thrift store, and then we have Mike over in the thrift store, who's the thrift store manager. We only have 2 unpaid employees. Everybody else is a volunteer. So that's what else you can do. You can volunteer. It's time, talent, or treasure. So if you want to volunteer, we could use your help. I come in to help raise the money so Kathy can focus on taking care of the people and doing the programs. She doesn't have time to raise money. That's my job. So if you see me, or if you want to talk to me about how you might be able to contribute that treasure, let me know.
Wow. Sounds like the Salvation Army likes to do a lot of things for people.
Well, that's what we do, and I think the thing we're really known for is feeding people. We're known for really helping those who are the most disadvantaged. You know, we've always been known as an organization that welcomes people. Our church service is open to anyone, and we do, quite frankly, get homeless people who come to our church, and everyone is welcome. And ironically, some of those homeless people have filled out pledge cards to help with this building campaign. Some of them are doing $1 a month. So, you know, we work really hard to make sure that everyone feels included and everyone can participate, and you'll never go hungry when you're around the Salvation Army. If you're hungry, just come on over, we'll feed you.
Well, we thank Laura Whitehouse for that great information, and we do want to let people know that there is a way to donate another way, and that is to mail checks, and you can do that to Bishop Salvation Army, 621 West Line Street, Bishop, California, 93514, and you might want to write in the check memo line, Hurricane Sandy Relief Fund. Well, the Bishop Community Concerts Association has been bringing beautiful music to the Eastern Sierra for 65 years now. And last week, the San Francisco Munich Trio graced the Dorothy Joseph Auditorium at Bishop Union High School. Catherine Hurdle of Sierra Wave Media was on hand and put together this piece. Well, that's just lovely there by the San Francisco Munich Trio. We thank Catherine Hurdle for putting that piece together and the Bishop Community Concerts Association for bringing such beautiful music to the Eastern Sierra. Well, Bennett Kessler also filed this report. You can add another angry police officer to the town of Mammoth Lake's growing list. In October, former police chief Randy Shinley filed documents to oppose Mammoth's bankruptcy filing. His complaint? A suspension of benefits he said were negotiated with the town when he retired. Shinley pointed to what he believed as a, quote, consistent pattern of harassment on the town's behalf directed at me by certain elected officials on the Mammoth Lakes Town Council, end quote. Now, in a letter filed with the bankruptcy court, Shinley said he opposed Mammoth's bankruptcy filing, which presumably will soon go away. Now, meanwhile, the former police chief, Randy Shinley, points out that his PARS lifetime benefits were suspended under the pending bankruptcy. Shinley writes that prior to suspension of his benefits, there was no communication from the town of Mammoth Lakes or its legal counsel indicating his benefit would be suspended. Shinley's letter says that in speaking with town manager Dave Wilbrecht, he learned he was the only individual that was having the benefit suspended. Shinley said other retirees did not experience a benefit suspension. Now, Shinley wrote that town manager Wilbrecht told him that the former police chief's pay exceeded $200,000 at the time of his retirement and put him outside the federal guideline for the PARS benefit. Now, Shinley said his pay never exceeded $200,000. He also said that a document the town claimed spelled out the terms of his benefits did not include his signature. Now, Shinley asked for all back pay and interest due to him during the suspension of his benefits, plus the continuation of the benefits. His letter says he believes the suspension of his benefit is, quote, being done completely with malice and forethought by members of the town of Mammoth Lakes administration and its elected leadership, end quote.